All right. Well, I'm here with Georgina Roney, and we have just completed our session of Reclaim together. Georgina was one of the members in the group, and I just asked her to come and talk to me a little bit about the experience. So, hi, Georgina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Excellent. So, like I said, we were talking a little bit before. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. So, I guess the first one in thinking about the program is for you, what is the biggest change you've noticed or the biggest difference you've noticed as a result of taking the program?
I think the biggest change that I found was that I now have the confidence to go forward, the confidence in my body, the confidence in my mind to know what I need to do that's best for me. So I know when I need to say yes and when I need to say no and when I need to walk away from a situation. Whereas before I would be a yes ma'am person, and you asked me to do it, I would do it. I would walk away from a commitment that I had made for myself.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's been a big change, and it's been hasn't been a hard change, but it's been a very interesting change as it's happened.
And I know we were talking about this in the group at our last session, that what a difference in the way you're conducting yourself. Yeah. So that's not
Well,
even.
it's changed everything in my life. It really has, just in the sense that it's opened doors that I would never have opened in the past.
Wow. And this is a 6-month program. So you're talking about even 6 months ago.
Yeah, I actually started at the gym 6 months ago, almost, I guess, about 2 or 3 weeks before we started the Reclaim program, because I did the beta program with you for a month,
Yeah.
and then I had about a 6-week period, and then did the 6-month period. And in that 6-week period, I joined a gym, CrossFit style, and I have been doing a semi-private program 3 times a week. I've logged it into my calendar, and I have not let anybody take that time frame. So if somebody wants to do something, wants to see me, wants to meet me, whatever, it's like, no, that time is mine, and it stayed mine. And the transformation for myself is incredible, but the flexibility, the mobility, the confidence that I have in my body and not wanting to hide is just been amazing.
That is fantastic. It's just so great to hear that. So, and you're not even talking about the food. So let's look, because so much of this is around eating the food that we need
Mhm.
to for that health, right? So have you noticed any difference in the way you are around food, or how you feel about the food that you're eating?
It's been a whole lot easier. I used to really resent my office is, I'm in a sales office. My office has got like loads of food in it all the time. And I used to be resentful that I couldn't have, and I guess, yeah, feeling deprived. And it's gotten to the point now where things are in the office, and people will actually come around afterwards and say, if you want to take some home with you, or we've got a few cupcakes left, or we've got a few of this left, would you like one? And it's like, no, thank you, I'm good. I take my own stuff. I do all my own meal prep. That's not saying that I don't eat out periodically, but when I eat out periodically, I pick a restaurant where I know that I can eat. And my manager is really good in that if we have a lunch meeting, like a team lunch,
Hmm.
she'll make sure that the restaurant that we go to is somewhere that I can have something to eat. Like, she knows what my restrictions are. So it's gotten good there, but it's gotten just to the point where, with the extra food around, I was mentioning to you last night in the group that since I came home from holidays in January at the beginning of the month, I haven't had any sweets in the house. And I'm a sugar person. I'm one of those people that always had to have a dessert, always had to have a snack in the middle of the afternoon that was sweet. And that hasn't been the case anymore. Like, I've had nothing sweet in the house. I've made some chia pudding, some sugar-free jello, but other than that, nothing dessert-wise.
That's amazing. And I know that a part of this is because you have really been great about, implementing the practices to ensure.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. That's so great to hear. Okay. So when you think about Reclaim, because I know you said that this was something that you've been working on for many years before too,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about the Reclaim program, how would you say it's different from what you've done before or different from other programs that you are familiar with?
I think what the biggest difference is that it's not dealing with the food. It's not dealing with what I can and can't eat.
Mm.
It's dealing more with the mindset. It's habits, behaviors. If I'm eating it, why am I eating? Or what's the motivation behind my choice of that food? I've done several programs with yourself, and I've done the Kickstart, I've done the Sweet Life program, variations of different things that you've done. I've been on an anti-candida program now. I'm going to say on and off because it hasn't always been successful, but
Yeah.
on and off now for, I want to say, probably close to 5 years. Um, I did the Candida with you, anti-Candida, a few years ago. And I think the difference is that when you did the anti-Candida with us, what I took from that was I got the foods that I could eat. I got the recipes. I've got sort of a set of tools to eat properly. When I did the Sweet Life program, it was more in depth, and it really was more of I guess a little bit more coaching, a little bit towards the behavior, but a lot of it was still food related. The really nice thing about this one was that it went completely away from the food, and while food is a factor, it wasn't the focus. So by doing that, I felt, and I mentioned last night, I felt that I had taken the anti-candida program, I had taken the Sweet Life program, got all of the tools, all of the food tools that I needed there. And by taking the Reclaim program, I got if you want, the psychological or the mindset, the behavior modification part of it, in order to bundle everything up and put it all in a package, because the food is one part of it, but the mindset has really been a major thing. And if I hadn't gone through this, I'm not sure that I'd be where I am today, because I don't think I really looked at the behavior behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like food was there and it's like, okay, now I'm going to eat. And it's like, okay, well, I can't have that. Well, now I'm feeling deprived. Okay, let me have a pity party. And now it's kind of like, it's not good for me. Therefore, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to feel deprived because I've got something at home that is just as good or better.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And yeah, that of course is the whole purpose behind Reclaim, right? To look
Mm-hmm.
at it more deeply. Fantastic. All right. So final question.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking to someone who was thinking about joining the program. Maybe you had, a sister or a friend or somebody who was thinking about it, but they weren't sure. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that they definitely should apply for it if they're ready to make a change in their way of thinking about food, or their way of thinking about, no, actually not even thinking about food, in their way of thinking about their health.
Mm.
Because like I said, food is one thing, exercise is one thing, behavior is one thing, but unless you bundle everything together, it just didn't happen for me. It's the behavior part of it really was what flipped the switch in order to allow me to take the food and the exercise and the behavior and put it all together and say, okay, you know what? I'm important. I need to do this, but I need to do it for me, not because I'm on a not because I'm on a restricted diet, not because I'm deprived, but because I need to make the changes for me. So I would say if you're at that point where you need to make a change, you need to make a change, or you have started to make a change, then I think that this is a great program to take a look at what's behind the choices that you're making and how to make the choices better and how to get the tools. And I think that the thing was the tools that you can push it forward into the future and make it permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to say that it's perfect. I mean,
Well, it's
there's
never
still,
perfect,
there's
right?
still
It's a
days
process.
I crave. There's still days that I slip, but they're minor. You get right back up and you just don't worry about it. You don't beat yourself up for it and you just carry on.
Yeah, and it is a process for sure. So,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that's why, because it is work, people need to be ready and they need to be willing to do the work. But if they do, the benefits are just amazing. And
Oh,
I am
absolutely.
so thrilled to see where you are. Honestly, it's just fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh,
I
my
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.